Acoustic panels are meant to reduce noise and control the sound waves bouncing around your room. If your room sounds like this when you clap, or sounds boxy when recording vocals, you could probably benefit from some acoustic panels. I'm going to go over the creation of acoustic panels for a fraction of the price that you could buy them at a store or online. A few things that you're going to need are wood, fabric, scissors, T-pins, and caulk gun. There are alternative ways to make these panels, but these are some of the things that I used. I called around various distributors to see who was carrying Corning 703. Home Depot and Lowe's were not, so I had to find a dealer in North Jersey. I borrowed a van and drove up to get some. I glued the panels together to make them each 2 foot by 4 foot by 4 inches wide, and made sure that they were aligned and then weighted them down. I cut some 2 foot by 4 inch wooden planks to cover the tops and bottoms of each panel. That way I could more confidently stand them up or stack them on top of one another. You could also cut metal studs to fit the sides of the panels as well. I plan on trying that out my next batch, and I'll post a link to that video right here when I do eventually do that. First, lay the fabric out. It needs to be at least 60 inches by 60 inches per panel. You can find fabric like this online by the yard, but you can find it even cheaper if you go to a wholesale fabric store and look at the discount rack. Make sure that the fabric is even. Brush it with your hand if you have to, but make sure that it's placed evenly. Glue one of the sides down and do some more brushing. I'm going to overestimate a little and say that each panel needs 5 feet by 5 feet of cloth per panel. So if you're making 10 panels, you're going to need a 60-inch wide piece of cloth that's 17 yards long. I work with several different colored fabrics. This run with the blue fabric was quite speedy after we started getting a system in place for swiftly covering and then gluing down the panels. Dyed burlap works pretty well because you don't want the insulation fibers getting through the fabric. Get something that's thicker and stronger than a thin pillowcase or a t-shirt. And remember, the material has to be durable enough that if you accidentally bump into it or scratch something against it, it's not going to tear or rip, causing the insulation fibers to get out into the open. Glue the other flap over and press down to let some of the caulk soak up into the fabric. Instead of using caulk, you can use some extra T-pins here, but I want it to be a bit stronger. Now it's time to focus on the sides. I use the nail gun to attach the fabric to the wood. Then fold up and make sure that the layers are placed out neatly. Form some triangles and really take your time here. Nail once more on the top of the fabric too, and then trim the excess fabric. Again, you can use the pins here instead, but make sure that you follow the steps and pin down both layers. Use as many pins as you think that you'll need. You really don't want the cloth to be shifting. Then we're going to glue the remaining fabric down to further secure its position. These panels look great in a studio and are easy to move around or lean against a wall. Stack them high in a corner to make a vocal booth, or get some wall mounting hooks and elevate them behind your mixing position to reduce unwanted frequency reflections. The best place to put these are your immediate left and right and behind you. Scatter them around the room anywhere that there are parallel walls to reduce further wall reflections. Let's hear a comparison of an untreated area versus a treated area. Notice that nasty flutter echo? It lingers for at least a few seconds after the clap. That's really not what you need in your recordings. It may seem like a lot of work, but these panels could cost over $200 per panel. At least those are the ones that I've seen online. Depending on the materials that you use, these panels will end up being around $30 to $50 per panel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please help me to afford to make new videos just like this one by contributing to my Patreon. It's hard to make time and save up enough money to do projects like this, but I love doing it because it helps those who are starting out in recording or making music. Even signing up for $1 a month would help immensely. Like this video if you liked it, dislike this video if it sucked, and check out my channel for more videos on Ableton Live, audio recording, and music production. Thanks again, everyone, and never stop making music.